Welcome to Old School Garage. Today is going to be a very special one because I barn find the vehicle, started all my journey with the classic cars. So I purchased the vehicle, started all my classic loving really. So this is an Opel Kadett from the early 60s. The car Richard Hammond drove in a Botswana Special. And I always been a car lover, car fan, and I always love all the cars. But till that point, I wasn't really appreciating classics. First time I saw this car, you know, with those alloy wheels on the back and the stance of this car and the whole character with the color scheme and everything, I just fall in love with it. So I think fair to say I need to name this car myself, and this car gonna called Oscar the barn find. And this episode I attempt to start this car. Let's have a look around. So I purchased the car about a month ago and I only managed to pick it up last night. So just a quick glance. There is a bit of a rust spot down in here, not too bad, a bit of a blemish and a bit of a rust spot down in the front wing by the lights. I mean, it's not often you see a car like this, and if you see it in the background, that's my Dolomite. I recently done a barn find with those. So this car, it's been dry stored for many years. There is some blemishes in here, but overall is not in bad nick. And inside of the car is not completely original. Those boards are found under the bonnet in the engine bay. I'm not sure what they are, but I thought I'd put it in there. It's a carburetor on the floor. It's a reason for it, and the reason is it's been well, some part of the car has been dismantled, so it's going to be a bit more pain in the backside to try to start it, but it is what it is. So the seats are not original, because definitely they not had seats like this back in the day. The back seats, it's probably original. So the dashboard, it's got one of these flat speedo in there. You've probably seen it in Top Gear. It's very cute. It's very small. There is a gear lever down on the floor, so there's no gear stick on a steering column. There is two switches in here, which is one of them is here. I'm very sorry about the shadow because today is a very sunny day for a change. And I got a set of keys to go down there. So I'm not sure what's going on in here. And on this carburetor, I don't think it's original. If we have a looky, and I've seen it somewhere, there you go. It's made in Czechoslovakia. I'm not sure the original carb in Germany made in the Czech. I doubt it, but drop it down in a comment if you actually have any experience with the Kadetts. I'm going to take the bonnet off because it's only held on by two screws, and yesterday, because there is a problem with the bonnet catch, I have to take the bonnet off and transport the car that way. So the engine bay, it's looking pretty decent in my opinion. As you can see, there should be an air filter housing which is missing. The carburetor port has just been blocked up, but it looks cleanish. Doesn't look like too much moisture or anything went down there. So it's not looking too bad in my personal opinion. The only thing I'm a little bit hazy about it is I think this is a 6-volt car, but I'm not sure if the camera gonna zoom on it. The good thing with this engine, they made an N. There you go, it's zoomed on it now. This is the 10S. So the 10S is a higher horsepower engine. The 10N was the basic one, 40 horsepower. I think this is like 40 something. I need to look on Wikipedia because I don't know. Also, another thing I noticed, the exhaust is missing, which is gonna be a pain in the backside because it's have to be custom made, I think. I'm not sure if it's any for sale, but I need to look online to make sure I can get one. As always, I'm gonna start with the basic, so I'm gonna start with the plugs. I'm just gonna take it out one by one, and the plugs, it's actually loose, and I'm not sure they are in the right firing order. They are loose as anything. Okay, so Let's have a look at the spark plugs. Also flacco. Special. I'm always keen to see plugs in cars because they say a lot. But this one looks like it's just been cleaned up and put back in. I have to use some lubrication down the bores just to make sure, you know, we're not spinning on dry bores really. And I'm gonna check the oil as well. Okay, that's next. Oil. Dipstick, 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 dipstick. Ooh. Oh guys, have a looky. The oil, come on camera, zoom on it. The oil, it's mint. That's a very good news. At least somebody cared about this engine and put it away with the clean oil. Bit of a good news, all the spark plugs is exactly the same. Let's look into the valve cover. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. This is loose as well, ventilation. Valves looks really clean. I mean, if you can see it, guys, what do you reckon? I think looks pretty good. I mean, this car compared to the Dolomite I just bought recently, this barn find, this one it's a million times better condition. And the Dolomite is about 10 years younger. Well, it's show you storing a vehicle in the right condition, at least on the dry, is save it. I just need to get a little bit of oil down there, not too much. So from the top, hopefully we can get some lubrication down the bores. Let it sink down slowly. Excellent. So the other thing missing from this engine, I hope you can see it, but there is no alternator or dynamo. We have the water pump up in here, and you see the crank pulley down there, but there's nothing in between. So that's I mean, even in here these pipes make zero sense. Yeah, somebody just, I don't know, somebody just botched something on. Same as with these lower pipes, they just on. I think this used to be an expansion bottle up in here, I guess. Well, the looks of it, there is a place for a canister, but nothing in there. I need to look online what this engine base looks like. Thing is, I bought this car extremely cheap, blind again. I paid for the deposit without seeing the car. The car actually cost me just under 800 quid, which is, it is what it is. The guy told me there is some issues with the car, some parts missing. He advertised it for a lot more money. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure if he advertised it wrong, if it's not come up anywhere else, because he advertised it only on Marketplace, on Facebook. So for whatever reason, I found it. It came up on my search, and I contacted him, and the car has been advertised for a year. So I think something was, you know, missing in there. He not done a trick. I squirted a bit of a fluid down the bores so they're not dry. I'm gonna disconnect the wire from there, so we're not gonna power any ignition. I need to rip this one up just to see if it's a 6 volt or a 12 volt. And I'm gonna put a battery in here. I brought a battery with me. Even if it's a 12 volt or a 6 volt, it will spin the starter motor, so it doesn't matter. I just want to spin it up, see if the engine is seized or not. I think not, but you never know. So I connected up the battery. I disconnected the wire from there. I put the camera down there so I can film it just in case if something coming out from the bores. Right, okay. So I need to figure out what's happening with this. Oh yeah, the clutch pedal is down there, so obviously it's been disconnected. Okay, they told me I might need to use this key. Let me just, so there is some sort of a locking system. Ooh! Ooh! Ho ho! So that's the key. I'm not sure what just happened, but I just put ignition on. I film, yeah. So I just put ignition on. There is an ignition light in there. So there is the key. There is the hidden key. It's a bit awkward to film because the cabin is so small. But the engine, what you can hear, the engine is spinning around. So that's good news. Very good news. Very pleased. So as you can hear, the engine is turning around. So I'm well pleased. Well pleased. Very good news. And if you can hear, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but the clock is ticking. Top tip when you dropping a bolt underneath the car, make sure last night the neighbor's dog wasn't over and made a poo-poo. And when you're rolling your hand on the floor, don't even ask. Because I dropped one of these bolts when I unzipped that one. As I suspected, this is a 6-volt coil. Before I go ahead, I need to get a 12-volt coil. Well, I had this coil for a long time. That was for my MGB, but it's never been fitted yet. So for now, I think I'm just gonna go ahead to try this one out. So this carburetor been fitted this way. I don't have zero sealant in here at the moment, or gasket. And I don't have any nuts to go with it. That's not very good, but I think this is supposed to come in here, I guess, and come in there. Obviously some sort of a pivot point. Yes. Yes. I think this is what it meant to do. So I guess this one come in here to pump it from the fuel pump. So this copper came out. Well, using all the right tools, I need to fit fuel line to this one. So it's an 8mm pipe. Solid. Right. Pipe is on. So what I'm gonna do now, using a syringe, I always do, and just put a bit of a petrol down the pipe. Reason behind it, the fuel pump probably been dried up in the past whatever 30 years or something, so it's just give a bit of a extra fuel. So just to show you, this is there, fuel canister there. Hopefully we're gonna see some fuel pumping on this clear pipe. Right, so I had a bit of an issue with the trigger wire. Let's see. So there is no fuel coming. Possible. This is stuck. Seems to be an issue with the fuel pump again. As you remember, I had the same problem with the Triumph. Also, I don't have a couple of nuts to tie on the carb. I don't know if the carb is any good. I don't know what's this carb off from or anything really. I mean, it's not even on. So back today, after yesterday messing, I managed to get a fuel pump, managed to get a couple of nuts for the carburetor. Actually came back last night and tried it on just in case if it fits. I picked up a fuel pump, so that's next. I'm gonna replace it. Let me show you. So if anybody needs any reference point, these are the OEM numbers. So PTZ PN fuel pump. Hopefully this is going to be the right one. Well, the only one way to find out is ripping off the old one and putting a new one on. So for taking off the fuel pump, I just have to pull out the pipe I just put on. Yes, there was a bit of a fuel in there, as you can see, but no pumping action yesterday. That's the pipe, the clear pipe, and these are 13mm bolts down there. Actually, not super tight on. Everything seems to be loose in this car. So this is the old fuel pump. Shame is not a manual primer on it. You just have to check. The new one is going to be the same one. And new one looks alright. Have to look at the spacers. Yes, looks good. The main difference is I can see straight away is the pipe. This is 8mm pipe. Not like it makes any difference, but it is what it is. And just to see, you see, this is seized up, it's not doing anything, so that was the problem. So the new fuel pump comes with a couple of new gaskets, so I just need to fit one on, literally one in this side, one in this side. I'm gonna flip the camera and I'll show you the other way when I'm gonna put it on actually to the car. Gaskets in there, spacers, another gasket. So, sorry, gasket, spacer, gasket, sandwiching together. I just put the couple of bolts in, and if all goes well, this should slot in straight away without too much of a hassle. I'm actually quite surprised how easy it was to get another fuel pump. And just straightforward, bolt everything back on. I need to modify the pipes, get a smaller pipes on, 6mm. Never over tie these gaskets. They don't need to be squashed too much. So pipe goes back on here and there, and I also need to tie this one up. This one I don't actually have a gasket at the moment, but we should be okay for a try, I hope. But because I done the Triumph recently, I got 6mm pipe, which is a nice fit. I need to get the canister out now, just backfilling again like I did yesterday with the syringe, just pumping some fuel in there. So I'm priming the pump because there's no manual pump, manual lever to pump up the pump to get some pressure up there. Right, so the fuel is connected up, seems to be working. Now I just need to sort out this ignition because I don't think the cables has been plugged in back in a normal place. So let's have a looky how we can get this engine turning over with the spark plugs in and hopefully fire it up. Because of the previous owner dismantled everything and we don't know if it's in the right spot, first we need to find TDC, top dead center. So find cylinder 1, get it up to the top, put something in there, hopefully not going to drop anything in there, and find out where is the firing point, then take the dizzy top off and see where is the rotor sits. So to find TDC, I have this screwdriver in here, And if you're moving the crank, once this is stopped, I mean, I don't want to get too much crap down in the hole, it's going to split it out. Oh. So down there with the 15mm, just moving the crank. I'm very sorry, a bit difficult to film and do it in the same time. So what you see is the screwdriver moving. And I can't move, so I move it back a little bit. This one comes out. I'm moving the crank again. So I need to take off the dizzy cap because we found TDC, top dead center. Bummer. It's a bit difficult to film and repair sometimes because it's so awkward. So anyways, I'm gonna put the camera down, I'm gonna rip this one off. So the rotor stood that way. So if we mark this one up, this cable should be 1. Firing order 1. Okay, that's easy now. So put the dizzy cap back on. Room wise, I wish I never put the ignition coil into position yet. Well, it is what it is. Alright, so we got 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, 2. Well, you need to tell me in the comments if I done it wrong, but let me show you. 1, 3, 4, 2. So 1, 3, 4, 2. That's the firing order. She's kind of ready for firing up. This is always the exciting time, but I don't want to get too excited because that's when things normally go wrong. So I keep it cool. So first time after many decades. Oh, probably got throttle. Need to sort out this throttling problem. Wow, look at the smoke. Obviously it's a fueling issue, guys. Well, as you can see, she fired up. It's something to do with this carb is not good. But to be honest with you, who cares? I'm absolutely loving it. Oh, it's always so emotional when you get the car fired up, especially this one, which started all my journey with classic cars. I don't know what to say. I'm overexcited. I'm overexcited now. I normally say I'm not excited. I always excited. But this is cool as anything. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you get so excited like I did, especially with this very special car, which has started my whole journey with classic cars, thanks to Richard Hammond and the Top Gear and the Botswana Special. And I'm just overexcited now. The car is started, so that's a good starting point. I'm gonna need to replace the carb. I already start looking on the net. So just to let you know, this repair is coming up to my other channel, the Old School Garage Build It. So kindly, if you like to follow me up on that channel as well, and also if you enjoyed it, this episode, and you made it this far, kindly, if you can hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because you help me out a lot, so I can do more barn finds like this and more exciting cars. So thank you so much for watching. Ta-da!